Good morning, Vietnam.
That's not how you do it.
No. Okay.
No. There's a much better way to do it.
Do it. Then.
But, no, I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
I'll let you try it again. You get one more shot.
Okay. Youse, damn it.
Oh, see, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, someone is a new Youse director. Thanks. Congratulations on order, sir.
Thank you, kind sir. Alliance for the win.
Yeah, Lions.
Because no one cares about reloading. Just waiting for our cooldowns to finish.
Pretty much. It's all about cooldowns and building up your base.
And your mana and your pylons and...
The nipples.
No 360 no scopes here. Maybe a 360 like Assassin's Creed assassination, but no scopes.
Woohoo! Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
So yeah. If you didn't watch the last video, this is CobraWolf.
CobraWolf!
He's like my boss or something, but...
It's such a weird title.
Let's talk about games. All the games.
Fantastic.
Dota 2 beta apparently came out recently.
So I heard.
No one told me about this, although apparently they only like signed up very few people. Well, watch the Yogscast video on it. Looks pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, I didn't see the video yet. I mean, it's funny, you know, being from a lot of the RTS games for a long time. Since I stopped doing a lot of PC gaming, except for like the Dawn of War games. I haven't really followed anything Dota until lately. Everyone's been into League of Legends.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'll look into it again.
We'll see. Honestly, I've never been into RTS at all. Like I had a Command and Conquer for the PS1 I used to dig around on, but couldn't actually do anything on. And then I tried StarCraft 2 and sucked horribly. Not that I'm any better at League of Legends, but I at least feel like I have a grasp on the game better and I can do more. Maybe that's just because it's a MOBA and I can control my main character or whatever, but I feel like I'm more solid with that, so I'm looking forward to Dota 2.
Yeah, a lot of people are. And I'll try to get into it, just...
Right, yeah. I still gotta try out Heroes of Neverworth or whatever.
Heroes of Newerth.
Yeah, that.
It's fun, actually. It wasn't free, and now it's free.
Yeah.
Yay! Go Linux. Because that was the first place I saw it, was actually on the applications section of Ubuntu.
Oh, really? Huh.
And I'm like, oh, look! A Linux game! How quaint. So, it was good because they introduced me. It was a fun game, actually. It was, it's kind of cool. But again, it's like having time to play all the games right now is probably the biggest problem.
Yep, that's gonna be my issue. And that internet dirt. And buying them because they like to all come out at exactly the same time.
I've given up anything on buying them mostly because, you know, it's the holiday time. It's it's time for me to get a holiday, and there may be some major changes coming up in my lifestyle that require money.
Oh snap!
Money. So
yeah,
you know, the holiday season. Unfortunately, they release the best games, and I will be on the sidelines making commentaries about people that make commentaries. Because that's all I can do, which is fine. I'll hold off.
I'll see. Like, there's only a couple that I would pay for at least immediately that I want to like buy, and that would be like Modern Warfare 3 or Battlefield 3. Right. For the multiplayer, for just playing it when everyone else plays it, but at this point I'm just kind of like, I don't want to. I don't want to shack the money out to complain about it a month later like everyone else, so.
Right, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I know I'm going to go with Battlefield and not Modern Warfare. I mean, right off the bat, I'm not, I will pick a side, but I'm not going to care who picks what side. You know, I'm not a fanboy. I've said that about a million or so times.
Right.
It just, for me, no matter how much you show me, you know, pictures of Modern Warfare, you know, Battlefield 3 was a game I've been waiting for since Bad Company 2. It's you know, and the previous Battlefield games.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be quality. The beta was awesome. Yeah, it was buggy and glitchy, but who cares? It's a beta. It was like 2 builds behind. There 3 builds behind whatever version was going to be production.
And it was still a lot of fun, nonetheless.
Yeah, and really, realistically, it was just a way for for EA to say, please free load test our servers for a service that we would otherwise pay thousands of dollars to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So they knew that their machines can handle them, and they saw also what kind of what kind of load they would be expecting. So that would be really good.
And see, that's one of the things about Call of Duty is you never get to look forward to it because they come out every year, and you can make the argument about the quality's sake or whatever for producing it for a year or whatever, but I mean, you know a Call of Duty is coming out every November pretty much, so you don't really have much time to get excited for it like you did with Battlefield 3 and pretty much any Blizzard game because they take 12 years or things like that. Like,
and you know what the part that kills me too is if you if most people tally up that played, let's say, Black Ops, and they bought all the expansions, they ended up spending like $200 in that game within the span of a year.
Yeah, and that's not including if they got the freaking $200 version of the game to start with.
Right. Whereas I can look back and say, you know something, I spent about almost $120 on Fallout 3. And I got
hundreds of hours out of it.
3 platforms. Well, actually, between 3 platforms.
And even like Skyrim's coming out soon. I'm not entirely looking forward to it, mainly because I never really played much of Oblivion or anything. I know it's going to be a good game. I just don't have, I don't have time to play a long-ass game. But I'd honestly, if I could afford to for myself, like, if I could make myself do it, I wouldn't want to buy a single game coming out this year. But yeah, but if I could make myself, like, not buy a single game this year, I'd probably be much happier, because next year we got Diablo 3, Counter-Strike, Global, whatever, things like that, that I'm probably much more looking forward to than freaking another Modern Warfare. And I mean, I'm interested in Halo coming out, but at the same time, I'm debating whether I want to be disappointed.
The Modern Warfare, I agree, but the Counter-Strike, I don't agree.
Really? You know?
No!
Not a Counter-Strike fan?
That's a trick question. Can't answer that one.
Okay.
I was a Counter-Strike fan, and I played since beta, and I ran a server and had a clan, and we used to win. And I look at it now, and it's all they're doing is touching the game up with the new, the newer style Portal engine. Yeah, it's great that they're going to do it multi-platform capable, but they still haven't announced what platforms are going to do it, and more than likely it's only going to be PC and PS3.
Right. Which makes me wonder if that's actually going to happen, because for one, DC Universe Online promised that too, and that never happened.
I thought it did. I thought it was the end of the month that it was coming out.
No, well, it's the end of the month. It's becoming free. It's still not still can't play with console people.
Oh yeah. I think the only one that really did it was Final Fantasy and Shadowrun, but Shadowrun did it on the PC and the Xbox.
And then you gotta think, I mean, I realize there's a small amount of people that actually do it, but the people who actually take advantage of the strafe jumps and all that, at 30 frames per second on a console, you're not gonna be able to compete with those kind of people, so I'd find it amusing to see a game again with like some Pro Mod players versus some PS3 players, and they can't do anything.
Man, I remember the bunny hop. God, it was so much fun back in those days. Then they came out 1.6, and it was like, we're just gonna geek everything you used to do.
Derp.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun. I don't know. I like Counter-Strike. I can still load up 1.6 or Source and still rock in there and have a lot of fun. It'll suck horribly now, but it's still fun. But to be excited about,
I get you,
about that game being rehashed, like the Halo redo, the Halo HD remake, I'm nerdgasm.
Yeah.
It was the best in the series, I thought. Reach, I liked Reach. The multiplayer was whatever. It was just a rehash of all the old multiplayer. But the single player was good.
But see, I'm really excited for the single player, definitely. But what kind of disappoints me is, until I heard about the multiplayer, I was looking forward to a revamped Halo 1 multiplayer experience. And it's just Reach 2.0. And
yeah. Which I kind of expected, because that's what everybody's playing right now. I mean, look at, if they could have put a Horde mode in there, which did they?
Firefight. It's not in the remake, I don't think.
Okay.
It'll probably be in 4 though.
They're releasing they're releasing co-op content for, even Warhammer 40K, the Space Marine game that came out, and it's going to be free if you own the game, obviously.
Right.
And it's a horde mode. It's basically 4-player co-op, but it's a horde-style gameplay.
Huh.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love the fucking game anyway, so it's going to be tons of fun. But
right.
it's like, hey, everybody's jumping on. That's what plays. That's what sells.
Yeah.
I would like to see more co-op games. The only one that really did it was World at War.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, is the one game that everybody picks on the most out of the Call of Duty series.
That's true.
But it had a full multiplayer co-op.
But I would like to see games start bringing back full split-screen support, because all the games that started doing that, including World at War, took out most split-screen support, which is garbage for that kind of game mode. That's the perfect couch split-screen party game.
That one is. But I'm torn about the split-screen thing.
Really?
Even on a big TV, small TV, yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things. If we had the ability to have 2 TVs hooked up, we always did.
Well, yeah.
You get spoiled. You get spoiled doing, regular multiplayer. PC multiplayer, you're definitely spoiled from the start.
Well, yeah.
But all the couch co-op games that I usually play with my wife is the hack and slash stuff. The old Champions of Norat, the Baldur's Gates. Dungeon Siege 3 came out.
Ones where it doesn't have to actually split the screen. You're still on.
Yeah, because you're all fighting together and doing your own thing, and it was fun. I liked it. Those games are really fun. Look for videos of that coming up soon.
Oh,
shameless plug. But they're fun. I miss that whole genre of games, and really, there's a huge void that any game company could come in and say, "Yes, I'll do it." Go ahead.
As much as I love the God of War 3 game, or God of War 3, I think it could have made a lot more money if they made a good co-op kind of thing. I mean, I realize no one would be expecting it, but it's one of the few still hack and slash games coming out, and so if they had a co-op for that, I think it could have helped it a little bit.
You know what? If they did a co-op for that, like they did with Uncharted, which I was really, really depressed that co-op, Uncharted's co-op didn't do better than it did. So I thought it was a lot of fun. It was innovative because it was a 3-person co-op, not a full 4 or any more than that. Derp with the connections. And why does it always cut me out? That's it. I'm not talking anymore. Got a boom boom diaper, baby. Yeah. Every time it does, I lose my goddamn train of thought. Yeah. I wish the Uncharted 3 got a lot more publicity than it did. And I was kind of sad because those games are amazing. I mean, perfectly amazing. Uncharted 2, in my book, was like a 99% perfect game. And the only part that made it not perfect was the way the multiplayer was marketed. Because I liked it. And I would have liked to have seen a co-op storyline in the game.
Right.
But again, you have, like in God of War, you have a single character who goes through the entire game. And at different points, he meets up with other people. Now, if they had done that for God of War, where the multiplayer was not the campaign, but was like side stories,
right,
that would have been awesome.
No, I was actually going to ask you about that before you said that, but so you prefer that kind of thing, because as opposed to actual just regular co-op through the story?
I like co-op through the story, but only if the story permits it. In a case like God of War, it doesn't do it. Same thing with Uncharted, where Uncharted, you have helping characters, assisting characters, jumping in and out at all times in the story arc.
Yeah, so there's no consistent follow.
Right. But a game, like a shooting game or a hack and slash, you have to have co-op. If you don't, then that's stupid. That's stupid to me. You're losing money by not putting it in there. But on the flip side, Modern Warfare 3 is going to sell.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it has, co-op multiplayer campaign or not.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't. As far as I know, they only do the Spec Ops again.
Yeah.
Which to me was stupid. I didn't do any of it.
Yeah. But see, you brought up a good point. That's what killed me about the co-op in Halo 2. And supposedly someone told me there was in Halo 1 on the Xbox, but I don't remember that existing, so I don't know. Was you were literally just 2 Master Chiefs, and so that just kind of...
Yeah.
I don't know. That just kind of ruined it for... Just when I thought about it for a while, that just kind of messed it up for me.
It did, but it was really fun because at the time everybody was waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean,
and when you played it, the way I think it was just more fun because you can put it on Legendary right from the day you buy it pretty much beat the game.
Yeah,
and that's what we did. So it was a lot of fun. But the multiplayer, it worked in that one. Again, it might not have fit completely into the story arc because there were 2 Master Chiefs. But you look at a game like Reach. A game like Reach has co-op multiplayer through the entire thing. Then, you know, you just pick another member of Noble Team, and you've got this group.
Right. Same with 3. But yeah.
Eventually, you're all going to die anyway, so who cares?
I was determined on that last level to survive.
So was I. I was hoping to, you know, they would have the different endings or something.
Yeah. Join up with Master Chief to be continued.
I know, it's like, oh, and you're dead. Fuck.
Time paradox.
You guys suck. Good writing, though. And, you know, another game that I haven't... It's funny, I guess it sold like hotcakes. It still is. And they're releasing a Game of the Year edition or a Gold edition now. It's Red Dead Redemption.
I've yet to play that myself.
Fantastic game. It was probably one of Rockstar's best titles. And I say that in, you know, having played everything basically except for L.A. Noire, which I really want to play.
Right.
But having played every other Rockstar title, and I mean just every other Rockstar title and Take-Two up until now, I'd have to say it was one of their best written and produced games. Now, the last good Western, to me, that came out was Gun. It was an Activision title.
Yeah.
Came out on the Xbox, then they re-released it and touched it up for the 360. That game was fun. It was pretty much open world, not as big as Red Dead.
Right.
But it was good. It was well written, good story, good animation, sound effects, and music. It was cool. It was a fun game, and they got some good voiceover actors. This game with Red Dead, it was not perfect, far from perfect. Lots of glitches, you know, lots of little issues. It actually killed my PlayStation and my friend's PlayStation.
Oh.
It killed our drives. So, you know, it's whatever. What are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
But the game itself, well written. I mean, the dialogue between all the characters was perfectly period. The voice acting they got, you know, all the guys they got to do the voices were perfect. They did spot on with the timing of the animations, which were still a little choppy. I mean, you could tell that this was a Rockstar game. You could tell they took the Grand Theft Auto engine and built this on it. But the story and the writing, I think, set this game apart from all of the other, you know, the Grand Theft Autos. Whereas, obviously, you go in there and it's just mass destruction, but the storylines were pretty good. The endings always sucked. In this game, very amazing. Very impressed with the way they did it, they wrote it, and it was a free-for-all. I mean, it was a free-roam Western. And the multiplayer was exactly that. The multiplayer was the single player. So I could be sitting there, jump into a multiplayer game, pick 8 of my buddies, form a posse, and then go, you know, storm the town, basically. It was awesome, but you could also jump into mini games. So it was a lot of fun. You'd have to play it to kind of understand some of the way it worked, but it was, to me, it was kind of a genius, the way they did that. And that was awesome. And that was another game that you don't see a lot of people now playing multiplayer.
Right.
But the game itself is still selling like crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that kept me from getting it was just that... Pretty much the only thing that kept me from getting Red Dead Redemption was I didn't really like Grand Theft Auto that much. Like, just as a whole, I never played it that much and stuff. And while it looked like it was different enough I'd enjoy it, that's just... I didn't get it when it initially came out, and so I haven't bothered to mess with it since.
Well, they're re-releasing, I don't know if it's a Game of the Year, Gold Edition, or whatever the hell they're calling it, but it basically has the expansions in it, which is well worth it. They had burp, derp, internet derps.
We're not that far away.
I know, derps. Just wait till it goes back to fast. Then I'll start talking fast. And 22 here, 22 here, 22 here, 22.
Thanks for watching, Buck.
And there was a fun time of chat. Let's go. Poop to my pants.
Bitches and jerks.
Exactly. Bitches and jerks. What's good, people? It's your boy Fist. I'm so tired. It's not even funny. I know, right? I'm so fucking tired. It's El President. Alright, good. So yes, getting back on track. They're coming out with the Game of the Year edition with basically the expansion. 2 free expansions online, 2 free downloadable content. There were 2 paid, and then there was the Zombie Nightmare Pack, which was totally worth it. So I think that game's going to be, I think, $30, $40, something like that, but very, very well worth it. So that may be something to check into. It was a lot of fun. You know, I'm actually going through a 3rd playthrough of it now, just the main storyline, because it was so good. And they have a lot of challenges and stuff. You unlocked outfits and different guns and multiplayer characters, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer was great, man. We jumped into a couple games right when it came out, and then everybody kind of fizzled away because everybody jumped into Black Ops, and I was like, damn, bad timing.
It always happens like that. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like another game, Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Is it came out, I think, right before Call of Duty did, and then they released Black Ops, and nobody wanted to play it anymore.
People always just say, oh, we'll play that later, but no. Never come back to it.
No.
What about, dare I ask this, Final Fantasy 13-2? You interested in that at all? Or?
No.
No? Okay.
No. And this coming from one of the first 2 games that got me into RPGs was Final Fantasy 1 and Dragon Warrior.
Gotcha.
Which at the time was Dragon Quest. Yep. What is it now? It's Dragon Warrior now, right? No, it's Dragon Quest.
It's Dragon Quest now.
Yeah, so it was Dragon Warrior in the beginning. Then they had to change the name because of a board game, which I also had, which was, it's just a weird little connection between all of them. There was a board game, which was actually made by, I think, Milton Bradley or Hasbro, but it was in conjunction with Games Workshop, who does all the Warhammer games.
Gotcha.
So, and there were actually 2 of them. There was that one. It was Dragon. I think it was actually called Dragon Quest, or Dragon, whatever it was. And then there was another one they did too, which was actually really cool. It had this huge battle mat. So it was a good introduction into interesting, different board games.
Yeah.
And there's another one, which I had at the time, which was Hero Quest, which then made Sierra's Heroes Quest title change into whatever the hell it is now. I don't even know what they changed it to. It's not Heroes Quest anymore. They changed it to Adventure Quest or some shit like that.
Battle On?
No, that was an awesome series. So, what did they change it to anyway? I totally forget. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this one.
See, those kind of name changes are legit, but making Notch change the name of Skrulls, not so much.
Right, yeah, Quest for Glory. So they renamed it to Quest for Glory. Gotcha. Originally it was called Heroes Quest. And then they had to change it because of that stupid board game. And for some reason, even though these guys were out first, I mean, it's Sierra. The board game people would have won because that, at the time, I think that was also in conjunction with Games Workshop, who was a very dickish powerhouse at the time.
Yeah.
So they changed it for Quest for Glory. It was a great game, though. Those were so much fun. Those were gaming, real PC gaming, and at its height.
Before my time.
It was a lot of fun. I think they actually released a pack too, some kind of a, hey, come back and play our games pack.
Yeah.
Those were good. The old Space Quest games and King's Quest, Heroes Quest. But those were good. I'd like to see those come out again. Classic gaming.
I'll see, because I'm too young for shit. I never really played that much Final Fantasy. And I have 7. I played a little of 7. And then I got 13. And while I still haven't finished it because I just don't finish RPGs, I loved it. And so 13-2 is kind of appealing to me. But I've actually went back and started playing Final Fantasy 4 on my PSP. Yeah. And so far, I mean, again, I haven't put too much time into it, but so far I'm liking it just because it feels like Pokemon, and it feels just enough like Pokemon that I'm just like, okay, I can do this. I like this.
I mean, you have to remember, for me, the first Final Fantasy game was on the Nintendo, and it was like innovative because I think Zelda was the first game to do it. Then Final Fantasy and some of the other ones where they actually put a battery inside the cartridge to save your games.
Oh yeah.
I had to buy 3 different games because I kept killing the battery. I mean, nice. I played through that game. Me and a buddy of mine where we used to live, we played that all the time. That was it. We played those 2 games, and when the battery died on one, when we were waiting to go buy another game, we'd play the other one. So, these little side things, I don't know what Square Enix is really doing. You know, even Final Fantasy, the last, you know, I don't know. I didn't play 13.
Mm-hmm.
I had kind of a sour taste in my mouth from, what was it, 12? Which I liked, but I didn't like, you know?
Wasn't that the MMO? Or was that
was
11?
12 the MMO? Or so it was either 11 or 12. I
Okay.
think it was, might have been, it was one of them. Whatever was the last actual non-MMO one on PS2. And then I had a buddy of mine who went out and bought 13 the day it came out. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's really good, but you have to play it for like, you know, 20 hours before it gets really good out of the storyline. He's like, even then, it's still fairly linear. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
How could you do that for a Final Fantasy game?
See, for me, it didn't bother me that much because I wasn't, like, used to the older ones, but that was something I noticed was, like, until the second to last chapter, it's straightforward, like, as literal as you can take linear, possibly. You literally just pretty much walk in a straight line for the whole game.
Yeah, and that's
and then when you
that's not what always was the appealing factors for Final Fantasy.
Right.
So it was disappointing to hear that. And derp. Derp. Derp, derp, derp. It's always me too. It's never you. Derp. There it goes. It's underpified.
Derpify you.
But anyway, so I mean, those were always the big appealing factors of Final Fantasy, were their openness and how you can pretty much go. It was an open world, but the storyline was never very linear. It was very, very open, which was always kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, and then you have games like, like Uncharted. I'll run back to that, where the game is fairly linear.
This video brought to you by Uncharted 3 Drake's Fortune. Go to Subway to get your beta key today.
God, that'd be awesome. And don't forget to send me a free video game for reviews and previews and stuff. Money. Send money. Like money.
Checks, money, whatever.
Got boom boom in your pants, baby. So, it was linear, but it didn't feel that way. Like you pushed through the storyline at such a great pace that it didn't feel like you were being pushed through it too fast, and it felt like every choice you made was your choice.
Right.
Then you get to the end of the game, you're like, wow, that really was kind of linear, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You know? So I liked it. I liked those were great games. I base a lot of games off of that now, off of Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
But
that reminded me of a stupid argument was in the Yaush chat where someone said Uncharted was ripping off Gears of War, and I was kind of laughing at that.
I'm not quite sure how that...
Basically, it came down to the controls and the fact that it was in a sort of third person, even though Gears of War is more like a zoomed-in third person.
Yeah. Kill Switch was third person, too.
Kill Switch was also the same. Duck and cover system, but...
Fable is third person. Yeah, is that going to get lumped in the same? I mean, what the hell kind of an argument is that?
I know, right? But I think like his biggest argument was the controls for the Uncharted 3 beta, which I'm pretty sure was probably the only one that guy actually played.
Wow.
Were pretty much the same, and I was just like, well, you got like 6 buttons. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Where are you gonna go? I mean, if they're the same, they're the same. That's the way life is.
Yeah.
That's kind of a silly argument, actually. I didn't. Thank God I didn't see that.
It was during school too, so I was completely not paying attention just to try and figure out what this guy was talking about.
Yeah, that's a very silly argument. I don't know how you could even come upon that. And it's not saying, Gears of War is another one that I haven't been able to pick up yet either. The holiday season, that will be pacing myself until after. So then I'll unfortunately be completely broke because everything will have come out by then.
No.
Because then you've got Uncharted 3, you've got Skyrim, you've got Mass Effect 3 coming out, you've got Diablo 3 coming out.
Resistance 3.
Yeah,
I still haven't even played through the series, because I got in the first one, my friend let me borrow it, I was like, okay, this looks cool. And I'm just like, wait, I'm a Marine fighting generic aliens? No. Okay.
Yeah, the third one's supposed to be really good, though.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of games coming out that look really good that I will personally be on hiatus from getting most of them just because of a time thing and the holidays and everything else comes first. So
See, that's what I don't like about games coming out on the holidays. I realize it's probably a better selling point because of that, but that means you have less time to play them when they come out, which is always annoying.
It is, and it's you know, luckily my kids are really, really young, but I can only imagine that my parents every Christmas. Well, luckily back then the games were cheap as hell. The systems were expensive.
Yeah.
But now the games are $70, $60 a piece, and I can only imagine most parents right now are cringing when it's like
I want this game, this game, and this game.
You know, they see that new $1 million video game trailer where it's like, oh, I have to have that.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the lists now are basically game consoles and games and iPods.
No one wants toys. Oh, did it derp?
Sad, because I love Legos.
It derped out.
I
couldn't hear you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love Legos, so it's kind of sad. Toys are fun.
Yeah.
I love all my toys.
And see, I don't have room to do Legos anymore, so that's why I play Minecraft.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But the kids are into it, so that's good too. Lets me, yeah, I'm buying this for the kids. Funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a good holiday season for gaming, which is good and bad. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. Thanks for coming on here again. Hopefully the Skype derping doesn't annoy too many people.
Yeah, it'll be derped and cut, which is fun because you'll hear a lot of derps and herps and bleeps and bloops.
Not a single herp was given that day.
Exactly. Many were hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace. Youch, damn it.
Youch! Damn it.